Okay, so we have the following situation. We here have a very, very large file, very, very large. I mean, it's like decent 600 lines. And there's a lot of like generated test code. It's just to show the point. This is the Continue.dev chat here. And if we ask ChatGPT-4 to add sin calculation to the code and add some tests, then we get the following. So here's the calculation and let's apply it. And since it couldn't be like instantly applied, it's now running through the code and marks the changes. And like it runs through the code and you see some portion of it, it's green and some is red. And like since the like the second request, or like when the instant apply is not possible, then it falls back to requesting the LLM to send or to give it the like response. So how should this be integrated here in the overall text? And the problem here is that GPT-4 has only like limited tokens that by default generates, and everything that's like outside of these tokens just gets removed here. So it's not in the output anymore, and so we have large sections where the system tries to like delete this because it was not in the second response um, from the LLM. Usually it's more at the bottom. So I will reject these changes now. So I don't want them. And then I will request, like with my changes that are in the code now, I can do this apply um, with diffs. And so I asked the LLM to output the changes as diff and give it the current file as context. That's important. And then it like comes up with a diff. That's more or less decent. You see here, GPT-4 is not doing a very, very good job. You see, usually there should be 3 lines at the beginning that have no plus or minus at the beginning, and then there's the changes, and then there's 3 lines again. So changes, so it's not doing a very good job. But if I try Claude, then that should look much better. And apply it to the code. And there we go. We could get an instant apply coming from the unified diff on the right side. So we see like the first line, this line was applied correctly, and then we can jump to this line. I mean, do not have the plus in the code, and we see this block is also yeah, assigned correctly. So that's the magic. I would say it's not working very well with ChatGPT, but if you give ChatGPT examples and more guidance, then it improves the outcome. Also, Claude is not perfect in every case. What happens if there was a mistake in the generation and one line couldn't match with the other lines? It will again fall back to the usual approach where it sends like the diff to the LLM, and then the LLM tries with this diff to apply it to the code. But we have again the limit of the output token length, so it will fail at some lines just because there is not enough output tokens to return the whole file. And I would say that's the magic. I mean, In this example, it hasn't caught the test cases, so I would now do it for the test cases as well and then apply them. And that's especially helpful when you have really, really large files. We have a problem usually with Kubernetes configuration files, but I mean, you can imagine there's like tons of large code or configuration files out there.